Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about the San Diego Wave, give a little preview to the 2026 NWSL season for them. And I keep using the words fascinating when I'm describing teams and their chances for this year because there were so many interesting things that happened. A lot of forced turnover due to the two expansion teams coming in. But let's get to it for San Diego, okay? Because this team still has talent. They have some talent. They have some names. They have some star power. But they also have some real questions. So let's start with the biggest truth, okay? San Diego need to be more than just staying relevant. They need to make some major changes, make some major steps this year. And they're trying to prove they can survive major change and still be dangerous because there's some turnover there, okay? New addition wise, Ludmilla comes in. That's a headline name to come in. She brings pace, directness, and goals. She is starting to age, but if she settles quickly, she could be a problem for every team in this league. Then you look at players like Portillo, Kiki Pickett, and a couple other new pieces coming in, and you can see that San Diego are trying to build something. They're not trying to be quiet and just cruise along. They're trying to get better. I would say they want to be an explosive team. But here's my hot take. The San Diego story is not just about who came in, it's about who left. Sheridan is gone. That's massive, not just because of the saves, not because of the quality, not just because of the presence, okay? She gave this team some personality. She gave this team, obviously the quality, like I said, but she gave them confidence, okay? And things got shaky a lot of times with San Diego last season, and she is that calming presence that's going to be missed, okay? And now that safety net is gone with her departure. But then you add in some more turnover, okay? McCaskill's gone. Cascarino is gone. Lundqvist is gone. And that's not minor roster movement. That's major changes going out. That's real change. It's proven quality leaving the building and not coming back. And I'm not sure that the talent coming in equals what they lost. It's possible, though. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts because if they're changing their system somewhat to fit the players that they have, things could be different. But for me, it starts with Dolly, okay? She's still one of the most important names on this roster. She gives them some composure. She gives them some control. She gives them that big brain in the midfield. And if San Diego are going to be good this year, she's got to be one of those, helpers controlling everything. So let's look at the attack, though. You have Ludmilla, okay? Adriana Leon, who's still one of my favorites. You have Dudinia. That group has pace. They have unpredictability. They have the ability to hurt teams fast. But you've got this young core, too, with Marcinus and Ascanio. Am I saying that correct? Ascanio. And that's where it gets interesting because at some point, those two are going to need to step up, stop being potential or promising. Stop having just potential and being a promising player and be that week in, week out player that they can count on. Defensively, the core matters too. And we have McNabb, we have Wesley, we've got Morani back there. And they're there, but is the enough quality there? And that's going to be a big question. Like, who's going to settle the back line? Who owns the goalkeeping role right now? Who's going to give the team the calm that they need when pressure hits? And that matters a lot because I'm sure San Diego has a big plan coming into the season, and that plan is going to last until the first freaking kickoff. And then upon first contact, that plan is going to go to hell in a handbasket. And I'm not sure this roster is set up for that. But, okay, let's get back to it, though. The Wave do have playoff talent, okay, but they do not feel like a sure thing. I feel like they're one of those teams that could finish as high as 5th, and they could also miss the playoffs. And that's the range. It's crazy, and I hate to say that. I'm sure fans will give me a dislike like some of the KC fans have given me on some of the videos. But if the new pieces click early, okay, if Lamilla delivers and still has the legs, if Dolly can control games, if Barcenas and Ascanio settle in and take that real step forward, okay, then yes, this team can absolutely be dangerous. But the chemistry, if it's off with all the turnover and if the losses hit harder than expected, okay, if the goalkeeper situation continues to be shaky, then San Diego could end up stuck in that crowded middle tier that one game decides whether you make the playoffs and finish 6th or if you miss the playoffs and you're finishing 10th, okay? And they could be in that middle. So they're good enough to compete. They are not good enough to dominate yet, but they can still make moves. And honestly, that's the entire Wave question for 2026. Good enough to compete, okay? Basically, they're good enough to compete. A few additions, maybe things change. So what's not obvious is whether this San Diego team can actually be balanced enough to control their long season of, are we at 27 games this year? No, 28 games, I think, for league. Along that time frame to be consistent for 28 games and have, they need to be hard to beat at home, okay, and get a few more points on the road, and that's going to make the difference for them this year. So in this league, though, we know the league lives on fine margins. So I wish you all the best, San Diego. I'm sure they're going to make some moves over the next first week or two. We'll see what happens, okay? We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and if you made it this far, I do have a plug, okay? There's some ways you can help our family below. One of them is buying an exclusive U.S. soccer hat directly from our site. My wife's been battling incurable cancer for over a year and a half. It's stage 4. Our life has been in tatters at times. We've had to retool, basically shut down her business. And I hate coming here and begging all the time, but if you want to share this and help us out and buy something that you like, that could help us, okay? So, again, see you in the next video. Take care.